Yo, yo. What's up, Brooks?
Yo, yo, what's up, Baron?
How are you?
You know, can't complain. Oh, actually, I can complain,
Oh,
but I
God.
won't complain. I won't complain. I won't complain.
Okay.
But it's more in the aspects. It's not football. It's more aspects of life. But basically, short synopsis is winter storms coming through.
Yeah, you staying warm?
I'm hopefully gonna stay warm. That's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I was actually having plans of doing stuff this weekend, but now I can't
Nope.
out of fear of the winter storm.
Yep, it's going to be a pretty low-key weekend for those affected by the weather. Probably a lot of inside time, but that just means more time to watch football, right, Brooks?
Well, hopefully, no power goes out. That's the
Well,
biggest.
yeah, that too. So,
Yeah.
praying for all that, but yeah. Hopefully you get some extra time to watch football. Got conference Sunday coming up, conference championship Sunday this weekend.
Never an issue for me. I'll always love watching my football. So
Um, yeah, we just finished the national championship this week. It was on Monday. Yeah, college football's over, thankfully. Don't have to deal with.
thankfully,
Yeah, I hate college football. Don't have to deal with any of that mess. Actually, not really, because all the stupid shit happens in the off season. So this is actually the worst part of college football. Is the off season, if you ask me, because this is
yeah.
where all the fuck shit happens. But yeah, we'll just see how each team looks going into next season. But the most important thing to talk about right now is Indiana and defeating Miami on the road. We're gonna say Indiana was the road team in this national championship game because the game was in Miami. Um, we know that Hoosier crowd travels well, but yeah, did not matter. They were able to go into Hard Rock, defeat the Hurricanes, and end Michael Irving's bullshit once and for all.
That's the best way to put it. I mean, the Hoosiers were. I mean, you look back. You look back at it with hindsight, 2020. They were obviously the best team in the nation. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of experience on that team. The offensive line being a very key part of that. Trenches, of course, control it, but of course, the narrative will always be on Fernando Mendoza, the two-star recruit out of high school from Miami, who didn't even get a walk-on offer from the Hurricanes, goes and walks off the field as a national champion, beating his hometown team of Miami, the team he grew up a fan of because of his parents both going there. So um, the story will be on him. He had his Heisman moment with that dive into the end zone. Really cool play. And, as you know, I covered Georgia. I go Georgia. But, in the last couple of years, it wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
But talking to all the Georgia fans, let's just say they were not surprised Carson Beck threw an interception in the game. Funny stat is actually 4 out of 6 of Carson Beck's losses. Um, I guess his last pass was an interception. Like he threw 4 out of 6 games, he threw a game losing interception. So,
Good.
yeah,
Yeah. We'll see where his career takes him, whether that's the UDFL or Indeed. But his college career is over after a long
he'll
7
be he'll be in
years.
the NFL.
Maybe, not for long. But his 7 year college tenure is over. Miami is now in looks of a new quarterback.
Oh,
Yeah.
we can talk about that. I don't think
Oh,
you're as deep in the college game as me.
I don't
But
want to
do you
talk
know
about the
you know what's
all
happening
that
there?
bullshit. Yes, I know exactly what's happening. They're basically trying to get the Duke quarterback, I forget his name, to transfer or yeah, to come play for Miami. But Duke won their restraining order file that they're requested on him, so he is not eligible to talk to other teams or transfer for like 2 weeks or something like that while they figure this all out. So good for Duke. Happy for them. That's probably the only time I would ever say that ever. Because yeah, that's ridiculous. That we are yeah, we're just again, I don't want to go into a long tangent about my feelings of the transfer portal and NIL and all that, but yeah, that's ridiculous and good for Duke for winning that.
Yeah, yeah, we won't go into all of it, but I saw like what is it called? A article or tweet. I saw a tweet. That's what it is. A tweet of how much Mensa would have got paid to go to Miami if
Hmm.
he goes to Miami. I'll be honest with you. I don't blame him for wanting to go to Miami
Oh
after
no,
being
yeah,
there.
they're giving him $10 million. It's ridiculous. They're buying out his
But it's not.
contract, giving him $10 million
Yeah,
up front. Did you see all this? They're giving him like
That's what I'm saying.
one of the nicest
Yeah.
properties they can in the Miami area. They're giving his sister a full athletic scholarship.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, they're quite literally breaking the bank for this one dude who, let's be honest, right now is the entirety of Duke's football program right now. So yeah, no,
Well,
I'll shout out to
he's
Duke.
also
Yeah.
he's also a transfer
Mm-hmm.
from. He's not a Duke player. Like,
Was he not on the team last year?
no, he played for Tulane,
Oh, I thought
but
this was
he
the guy that
signed.
played for Duke last year.
Was it? I thought he
Yeah.
played for Tulane, and then
No,
he
I'm pretty sure
played.
this is he played for Duke this past season. Everyone was like, he's going to be the next great NFL quarterback when it's his turn to go into the draft, and that's why everyone was like, oh yeah, he's going to be a big name in the transfer portal because obviously it doesn't make sense for him to stay at Duke. But everyone, I guess when the playoff or when the initial transfer portal opened up and his name didn't start to jump out, everyone was kind of skeptical about what his plan
Yeah,
was. And I guess that's when the speculation as the playoffs went on and Miami
that's
kept
what it was.
going
Yeah,
further and further.
yeah, I forgot. He transferred. That's what it was. He transferred from Tulane last year because he beat Clemson in Clemson. But he's getting paid $4 million right now, and he still has another year on the contract. But he wants to then go to Miami.
Right.
That's what it was. My
Which is ridiculous because he's under contract.
Yeah.
In Miami. Yeah, I mean, again, this is just all goes back to my and yours, I guess, sentiment. This college football just needs to become professionalized at this point. We either need to do that or take away the money, but we're not taking away the money at this point. So
Money. It's too far deep to take away the money
exactly.
now.
So yeah, this college football needs to be professionalized. These coaches and players all need to be put under strict legal contracts, so this bullshit doesn't keep happening. I mean, the whole we're talking about the recruiting portal, the whole dilemma with the Clemson linebacker flipped his
Yeah, Luke
commitment after
Farrelly.
he had signed everything, started practicing, meeting with the team. He was basically on the team, and then Ole Miss lost in the playoffs. So like, hey, we want you to come play here. We gave him a lot of money, and yeah, he's on his way to Ole Miss right now. So no, college
Yeah.
football is disgusting. It's awful. It's terrible. And more people need to give money to it. We need to keep propping up the good product, which is the NFL, and not the bad product, which is college football. But on a more positive note about college football, let's talk about Indiana, the first 16-0 team in college football history. Obviously, the discussion around this Indiana team, is it the greatest college football team of all time? Most people would say no, but Brooks, I'm going to give you a reason why it might be.
Okay.
All right. And that's because of the expectations and where this program was not 10 years ago, not even 5 years ago, but last year. This was still probably a losing program, right? Complete 180 in my opinion. So yeah, I think if where you look at, obviously everyone's going to give the big shout out to the LSU team, which in fairness, in terms of skill and who was on the roster, probably is the greatest college football team of all time. But in my opinion, in terms of storyline and kind of just significance or national or historic significance, I'd throw Indiana up there. I mean, you got to remember, this is one of the worst programs in college football history. Not just Power 4, in the entirety of college football. And now they're the very first 16-0 college football team. I think that's remarkable, and that there's a lot that needs to be propped up more, in my opinion.
This team, I understand the Cinderella talks of this team was technically, I think, 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. They were technically the most losing
That was 2 years
program
ago.
of all time 2 years ago. So they jumped Northwestern. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago. I think people forget that this team was number 6 in the country last year at the end of the season. This team was number 6 in the country. They were in the cultural playoff, lost in the first round. Their 2 losses came to Notre Dame and Ohio State. Do you know what those 2 teams are last year? The national champions and the national champion runner-ups. So this team was already really good, right? You look about it on that scale, that team is really good. And then they got better, right? I think talk about this in the significance of a 2-year stretch. Yeah, that is a great, because that's when Signetti starts. That's when this program was in the mud. And in 2 years, they made that change. But if you're going to talk about this change being from last year to this year, very impressive. But I think people are giving it too much credit. I think people are forgetting how good they were last year, too.
I don't even remember them
So
in the playoffs.
they lost to Notre Dame in the first round. Jeremiah Love had that 96-yard rushing touchdown to open scoring. It was the first game in the college football playoff.
Didn't
It was
watch
Friday
it.
night. It was one of the games where it was like, I think Notre Dame was up maybe 27, 28 points. And then my Indiana scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, made it a 31-15 game.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I watched a second of the college football playoffs last year. I don't know anything that happened.
You didn't watch Clemson versus Texas?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
Oh, because I kind of assumed we were gonna lose, and I had work that day, so I wasn't gonna call off for that.
Interesting. Okay. Anyways, back to my point.
Yeah.
This team lost to Ohio State
Okay.
on the road, so in the shoe, very tough place to play. I honestly think if Indiana played at the shoe this year, I think there's a chance Ohio State does win that game.
No problem.
Road
Did
games are
they?
very
They
tough.
didn't even play, but they didn't play each other in the regular season. That's the point.
They did not. They played each other in the conference championship.
And that's not a home. That's
That's
not
it.
home field for
A
anyone.
neutral site game.
Yeah.
So that I'm just giving the credit of where it is. They're 2 losses on the road to two very good teams.
Okay.
And also a quarterback in Notre Dame that was Riley Leonard, who you can make an argument is maybe now going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Maybe.
But
We'll see what
but
they.
here's my point with Indiana. I think it's a very good team. I don't think this team is a top 5 team ever in college football. I don't think this team.
I think if you're talking about talent-wise, then yeah, there's certainly an argument for that because, I mean, again, there's that LSU team.
Yeah.
There's
No,
certainly
they're not
Alabama
even-
teams that are going to
they-
send 20-plus
they-
people to the NFL.
They are
This
not
Indiana
top
team will
5
not do
talent.
that.
No, they are not top 5 talent wise.
But that's
general,
that's still what makes football so great, Brooks, is you can be the least talented team in your entire respective league or whatever. If you play how you're supposed to play football, you listen to your coach, you have good coaches for starters, and you listen to them, you can beat anyone. That's what makes football the ultimate team game. So while, yes, I would say talent-wise, they're definitely not top 5, I just think that goes to show that makes it even better in terms of a team. Because, like you said, you put them up there with these other undefeated national champions, and you look at the talent that those teams have sent to the NFL. Like the LSU team, I think had, 12 first-round picks and 30-something draft picks from that one class alone.
Their entire offense went to the NFL.
Yeah.
So,
but, and again, I'm not saying that Indiana team would beat them, but
no,
they could certainly have a case for some of those greatest of all time teams, just the way that they play together. In terms of talent, they might not compete one or position to position, but when they play together, they have their coaching staff. I don't think it's ridiculous to say to throw them up in there. Maybe not top 5, but definitely top 10.
No, I'm talking. I'm not even talking about talent. I'm just talking about.
Yeah, I know.
If I pick 2 teams to go against each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who I think would win?
Yeah, they're easily in the top 10, easily all time.
They're not top 5.
I'd put them 6, maybe 5.
I'll tell you my 5. And you
Go
let me
for
know.
it. Go for it.
Okay. 2001 Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think?
I'll probably go with.
The greatest defense of all time.
I'd probably go with Miami.
I'll go with 01 Miami.
Who was the quarterback for that team?
Only the defense would stop, because the most important thing about that team was 2001 Miami's defense is probably the greatest college football defense of all time. The amount of people they sent to the NFL, we can talk about that, but also just the numbers they put. Didn't they not allow anybody like over 14 points in the game? I mean, this team was dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Also, didn't this team has Frank Gore as a running back? I mean, this is still one of the most dominant teams. I'll have to brush up my 01 Miami, but they're probably top 3 of all time. But we can talk a little more recent history about teams that I think would be better than them.
Okay.
I think 2019 LSU would be better than them.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. All right. I think 2018 Clemson would be better than them.
I could see that being a close game.
That one being a 15-0 college football team whose defense was also one of the best of all time,
You
who
said eight.
dominated
You said
defenses.
18.
2018 Clemson, the one that beat Alabama, which by the way, that 2018 Alabama
Oh,
is
is that
considered
that's not the year they went on. They lost that one game.
no, no, no,
Okay.
no. This is
Okay.
this is
Okay. I'll take
undefeated.
I'll
This
take
is the
that one.
first.
That's fine.
This
I'll
is the
take that one.
first ever. This is the first ever like 15-0 team. Trevor Lawrence, T. Higgins, Justin Ross, ETN, Renfro was. I don't know if Renfro was there still. I think Renfro was still there. Christian Wilkins, AJ Terrell. Like we're talking about the 15-0 team that beat Bama 44-16.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
I'll take that one. Yeah. I think it's that one.
and also
Yeah. That one.
when it comes to that team, that
Mm-hmm.
that Clemson team, I think that Clemson team has an argument to be made as maybe top 3 all time.
Okay. It's fair. I
But
don't know
some
about
people
that,
don't have
but
that.
okay. That's fine.
I think 2023 Georgia is better than this team.
Maybe.
Undefeated, of
Right.
course,
Right.
15-0.
Yep.
Steamrolled TCU to the national championship. That one was Stetson Bennett, Lad
Mm-hmm.
McConkey. By the way, that defense, Jalen Carter, or what is his name? Jordan Davis.
He wasn't on there at
Um,
that point. 2023, he's in the NFL. So is Nolan Smith.
2022, 2023.
Yeah, they were both
No,
in the NFL.
no, I don't think
Jordan
so.
Davis was drafted before we went to the Super Bowl the first time. And that was in 2022. Jordan Davis and Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith might have been on that team. Jordan Davis was not. N'Kobe Dean was not. And I'd still probably, I'd also probably say that's a close game with Indiana.
No, I don't think it
And I
is.
get my Clemson team's years mixed up, but that second one that won the national, I think the first one, that was with Deshaun Watson when they only won one game, or they lost one game.
That
I
was
think,
2016.
yeah, that one. I think Indiana could hold their own against that team as well.
Mm-hmm.
2017 was at Alabama. That was the
Mm-hmm.
that was the benching of that was Tua Tagovailoa. He came in. I might take Indiana in a close game in that one as well. I'm just saying. Recently, they're definitely a top 5 college football team of all time. Historically, I don't know. In terms of what they accomplished, I think fringe. So we'll leave it there. But we'll get out of the college football space for now. See what happens in the off season. I'm sure a lot more bullshit will happen, but we'll wait and see. Moving back to the NFL, do you want to jump straight into the conference championship games, or do you want to talk about the rest of the league first?
Am I tripping?
All right, he's on his own
Okay, no,
world.
Okay, hold up. Okay, yeah, no, I was right. Is this the same team? Because N'Kobe Dean is on this team.
And that's
Jalen Carter is on
then
this
that's
team.
2021, 2022.
Yeah, because they won it in 2022.
Okay, so then well that makes sense because then they were drafted in 2022. No, did they not win in 2021?
They won in 2021, but then it's 2023.
Yeah. All right, we'll do our research on this afterwards because really isn't that important. But regardless, we're not talking about college football anymore. Do you want to do conference championship games, or let's talk about coaching first.
Okay.
We've had some coaching positions filled. I don't know what's been filled since the last time we were on air, but in terms of head coaches, Robert Saleh will be the new Titans head coach. Is that the only one?
For new coaches?
Well, head coach since we've last recorded. Because last time it was only Stefanski and Harbaugh. I don't think there were any more at that point. And now I can't even think of any other ones besides. Jesse Minter was hired as the Ravens head coach. That was today or last night. Yeah. So who still needs a head coach? Steelers, Browns. Who else? The Bills, Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals haven't hired anyone yet either. I'm sure you saw the swing out of left field. If anyone had their ESPN notifications on today, the Bills are
Yeah,
taking a wild swing at their head coaching position, interviewing the now recently retired Phillip Rivers to fill their head coaching
Jeff
vacancy.
Hafley got hired by the Dolphins. We didn't talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that
That's what it
too.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where did he come from? He was someone's DC.
Packers DC.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, still some openings left, like some various offensive coordinators, some defensive coordinators. Still some big names left in contention. Obviously, if the Seattle Seahawks lose this weekend, then Clint Kubiak's name will start being shot around like a cannonball. It's probably the same with the Broncos. Once they lose, I think their passing game coordinator is getting a lot of looks for offensive coordinator roles. So obviously, there's still some delay for the rest of the season to finish. But yeah, any insight that you have for this crazy coaching carousel, Brooks?
For some reason,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the Dolphins hire. I don't Jeff Hafley.
Well, I see it as one of two things, right? Either A, they're dumb, they don't know what they're doing, and you're right, this is a bad hire, and this is all gonna just go to shit. Or B, actually do know what they're doing, and they're moving to a hard rebuild. Because to me, you bring in a young, defensive-minded guy when you're looking to rebuild your team. You want to get someone else in there to help build with whatever new quarterback you bring in. But usually, when people say it's time to rebuild, they get a defensive guy in there because if you can get a consistent defense, then you can. That's a good. I'm just saying. I think that's a good benchmark to build off of. I think that's the general consensus around the league. So to me, that's what I think Miami's going to start doing, especially based on what we've seen last season. Tua is getting up there in age. Tyreek Hill is probably going to get traded. And Jalen Waddle has a lot of value. So we saw it last offseason, too, when they started offloading some of their older guys on defense, even at the trade deadline. So I think this is a Miami team that's headed for a hard rebuild. So I don't hate this hire if that's where they're heading, but if they think that this guy's going to come in and retool what they have, then yeah, they're high as hell and dumb as fuck. So that would be terrible. But yeah, I really like the Jesse Minter hire. I think that's perfect for Lamar. Kind of with the whole sort of Josh Allen reasoning, or we were talking about last episode, how you put a defensive guy at the helm with Josh Allen and good things will come. Lamar's never really had that, so time to see what happens with that. Because we all know how bad that Ravens defense was this season. So if Lamar can have a consistently top 10, top 5 defense for the rest of his career, maybe Baltimore will start to win some more Super Bowls. Also, it's pretty crazy because Baltimore is I think they've only had 3 head coaches in their entire organization's history, which is not the least, but like the best. Like no other organizations had that few amount of coaches. So future bodes well for Jesse Minter if he can get everything in place.
It makes me feel like concerned because it's like, are they going to keep another guy for 20 plus years? Because eventually I feel like the streak has to break.
Yeah, well, we just have to wait and see. Obviously, if they come out and miss the playoffs again, then his seat's going to start getting hotter. But yeah, Ravens definitely one of those weird spots in my opinion. Now, who's getting the Bills head coaching job, Brooks? Because we've been sitting here and we've been talking about head coaching spots and how desirable they are. Like they're that high school girl. Are they pretty? Are they ugly? Are you gonna settle for the ones that you can get, or are you gonna go out and try and get one that's way out of your league? If you're the Bills, I think we've both sat here and said that job might not be as desirable as a lot of people think it is. Just based on kind of the pressure that comes with it. So for those reasons, I really still think they're going to promote Joe Brady. I really don't. I don't know why they haven't, but I don't know why they would. Maybe they wanted to see if they could get some outside interest. Maybe they're still trying to figure it out with Dable. I know that's a big rumor right now is he
Yep.
wants to be the Bills head coach, but if you're the Bills, do you want that? I mean, he was already in the building, and I don't know. I guess
When he was in the building, they were good.
it's true. I guess it showed. I don't know. It just feels like when you part ways with a guy, you rarely ever see a reunion like that, right? Whether it's animosity or just ill will towards based on how that situation happens. But in this
Why?
instance, well, just saying once an organization's like, yeah, we don't really need your services anymore. Some people can take
That's
that the
not what
wrong way.
happened.
I know that's not what happened, but again, that could other be. Think of it this way. If you're Brian Dable, we'll use a specific example. If you're Brian Dable and you had a great offensive season with the Bills and they still don't win the Super Bowl, and they're looking at other, I don't know, maybe you feel a little offended that they didn't give it to you earlier. Now they're kind of coming back to you, being like, again, we want to keep it in high school terms. It's like that one girl you were dating, and then you didn't like her, so you broke up with her for the prettier one. Then she dumped you, so now you're going back to old reliable, right? So maybe, and again, I think in a lot of instances that sort of thing doesn't really work. I think what's good for the Bills is that Brian Dable has expressed a lot of interest at coming back as a head coach. And I think what another good thing is I don't think he feels a lot of ill will towards that organization. So I think if you're the Bills, that's the one good thing you've got going for you. And yeah, see what happens. I still think it's probably gonna be Joe Brady, but maybe they take a swing out of left field and we're gonna see Philip Rivers holding the play card next year. But that's that would certainly be something. Did you see the
Oh,
meme on Instagram from the
no,
longest yard?
no.
You know how the you've seen that movie, right? The Adam Sandler movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know how I forget the character's name. The coach, how he used to be a quarterback. He's like, all right, screw it, I'm going in. The
Yeah.
caption's like, yeah, that's gonna be Philip Rivers when Josh Allen throws his fourth interception in the playoffs again. So hey, maybe that works, Brooks. Who knows? But
No.
yeah, I think at this point in the coaching, firing and hiring cycle, I think the Bills' job is probably the one that's gonna get the most media attention at this point.
I mean, yeah, I think so. Get the most media attention, but I just don't like the options out there. To be honest,
No, I
I
don't
really
either.
don't.
I don't
I
either.
really don't. Matt,
I'm
you did great.
and again, maybe they're gonna go after someone who's still coaching. Maybe that's kind of part of the delay, like Clint Kubiak. That's a name.
Not a bad name. Actually, it's not a horrible name. It's not a bad name.
maybe they want to offer the what's the Broncos DC head coaching job. I don't know, but
Now I think Kubiak. I feel like they're going to go more offensive minded just because McDermott's a defensive guy, but I feel like that's kind of the wrong direction still,
no, yeah,
right? Because
we talked about that last week, but yeah,
yeah, the problem with your team is your defense.
right.
But there is something I want to talk about the
Mm-hmm.
Bills, and that is how bad. I think this has to go up with the Ravens about how bad that owner interview was after,
Oh yeah, that was
um,
awful.
which was horrible. So
Excuse me.
the highlight of the Ravens one
Mm-hmm.
was about John Harbaugh and his comments about John Harbaugh. I forget the Ravens owner's name, but it was he was talking about Harbaugh, and he immediately said like, "Oh, it wouldn't have mattered. Like I had him fired in my mind like weeks ago, and he had like no opportunity, no chance."
Mm-hmm.
This one was, I think, the worst gaff of it has to be. Do you think it's either the referee one or the Keon Cole? I think it's Keon Coleman. The Keon Coleman comments were crazy.
See, I don't know if I'm the minority, but I sit here
Yes,
and see what he says
yes,
about Keon Coleman. I don't think
no,
that's
no.
ridiculous.
That is a horror. That is ridiculous to say. He's employed by your team.
I know.
Imagine you're a guy in a locker room, right? And your
Mm-hmm.
own owner goes, "Yeah, I don't know why we picked him. That's such a screw up."
Yeah. Okay. That would motivate me to do better. I mean, if anything, Keon Coleman needs that. He's terrible. Um,
He needs to go to
Again,
that.
this is a player that the Bills spent a first round pick on. That someone in that building thought that this was going to change the organization around, and it didn't. I know if I'm that owner, I'm being dead serious. That was not my pick. That was not my idea. This was someone in this building said we need this guy. He's gonna, and with our first round pick, he's gonna be an organization changer. That's what you expect when you
Well,
draft guys. No, stop. Hold on. That's what you
he was not. No,
expect.
you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. He's not a
Okay.
first round pick.
He's not.
He's a 33rd overall pick. That's a second round pick.
Sorry. Very early second round pick.
Yeah.
If you draft someone before, let's say 40, you expect that guy to help change your organization for the better. Keon Coleman has done jack squat of that since he's been drafted to the Buffalo Bills. So yeah, absolutely. If I'm the owner and I had no business in picking him, and people are sitting now, I'm going to air that out for everyone to know. I don't give. This is a professional business. These people make millions of dollars. I don't care if someone's feelings get fucking hurt. If anything, it should motivate them to play better. No, Keon Coleman sucks. If I'm that owner and I didn't want to pick him, I would let everyone know that was not my pick either. So yeah, no, I really would look more at what you said about the refs, whether that's true or not. But yeah, no, this bullshit with Keon Coleman, this should not be a news story.
What if he goes to Josh Allen and he goes, yeah, my franchise quarterback can't get it done in the playoffs. He's a bum in the playoffs. He had 4 turnovers.
Cool.
That's the reason.
Cool. That's what I'm saying.
Burn the bridge of your franchise quarterback.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but at some point you're going to get again, I understand when you get frustrated enough to where you need to say something like that. I mean, I will sit here and say those exact same words about Josh Allen. If the owner of the Bills came out here and said that, I would say, oh, that's nothing new. I already knew that. Maybe some people would be like, oh, my goodness. And yes, obviously there's some scrutiny when you're throwing a guy that you employ under the bus. But again, we're all big boys. These are fucking millionaires. Who cares if their feelings get hurt? Play better. Like, honestly, more owners should be coming out and be like, yeah, my franchise quarterback fucking sold that game, and that's the reason we lost. He needs to do better. And if that quarterback wants to sit there and go, wham, wham, my owner called me a bitch, I want to go play for a new team, guess what? You probably are a bitch, and I don't want you on my team. So, yeah, I actually have nothing. I don't think anything that owner did was wrong.
I just don't think you should be saying that about a current contracted employee of your team.
Call me old school. I think he needs it.
I think you have to understand. I think it's okay to do it in private. I don't think it's good to air it out in public.
Again, it's probably been said in private for weeks and nothing changed. At some point, yeah, at some point, again.
Yeah, he's gonna help you scratch all that.
Again, no, at some point, again, okay, so Josh Allen, that might be one step a little too crazy. But again, this is a guy, Keon Coleman, who's done jack squat for your organization. You owe him nothing. Yeah. Again, we don't know their relationship we don't know their relationship personally. They might hate each other. So this could have just been another dig at him for a long line of stuff, whatever. All I'm saying is I look at what that owner said, and in my mind, I'm like, cool. Nothing he said here was egregiously offensive or wrong that this needs to become national media. He said Keon Coleman sucks and he didn't want to draft him. He's kind of right. Keon Coleman does suck. I wouldn't have wanted to draft him either. That's all I take away from this.
So then you think the refs one is worse. Why so?
Actually didn't really see what he said specifically about the refs, but if he's criticizing them, then I agree with him 100% because they do suck.
Even though you agreed with what the refs call.
Oh, is he talking about the thing or the interception?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not gonna sit here and say that the refs. Again, I'm never gonna defend the refs, especially this season. They have done a terrible job. And I think that is one aspect that needs to be moved away. We need to give less human error in officiating. We need to move that to AI. But, yeah, I don't know. I get the frustration and I get the argument if you want to make it about the refs. I do think as an owner, I think you can take a step back and be like, yeah, maybe the play shouldn't have come down to, or maybe the game shouldn't have come down for that one play for the refs to officiate. Maybe that, again, I think maybe getting angry at the refs might be a little more offensive to some degree, but no. When I see what he said about Keon Coleman, I think he said nothing wrong. I don't think he did anything wrong. And if I was the Bills owner, I probably would have done the exact same thing, if not worse. So.
Okay. So then what do you think about the Ravens owner kind of airing out John Harbaugh?
Go for it. That's your employee who's shit the bed for the last 15 years. If
And
you,
you think a guy that has been your coach for what 18 years, won you a Super Bowl, has led you to many playoffs, which just gives you a lot more money. You think that's okay? Because Keon Coleman, I see your argument a little more because, like, you know what, he's not good. But if you say John Harbaugh's not a good coach, then we're just lying now.
I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but if, again, and I didn't see what the Ravens owner said word for word, but if he's basically sitting up there and being like, yeah, John Harbaugh has not been good for our organization, and we needed to make a change, then, again, it's not like he's sitting up there and telling lies. What he's saying is the truth. John Harbaugh and the Ravens needed a breakup years ago, if you ask me. But yeah, I really don't even look at, like, again, these are NFL, like, they own these teams. I don't think, and you got to kind of look at that from their perspective too. Like, in their mind, these are their rights to say, because, like you said, these players work for them. Essentially, these coaches work for them. These are the people that are signing these coaches and players' paychecks. And if these owners are visibly frustrated or want to go to the media and give them or voice their frustrations they're having with their team, to me, that is 1,000%, and they're right. And if they want to throw a coach under the bus, so be it. If they want to throw a player under the bus, so be it. Whether that's good for the organization or not, that could be a different argument. But whether that's an owner's right or not, that should not be a question. And I honestly want to see more owners doing this because, I don't know. I just feel like, to me, when I see, and again, I know the Bills owner's under a lot of scrutiny for running a shit franchise and blah, blah, blah. But to me, when I see an owner sitting up there and talking about basically all of that, whether it's good or bad, at least to me, that lets me know that they're involved and they care. I don't know what the fuck the Bengals owner's been up to these last 4 years. I don't think I've ever seen them ever in my life. Like, I don't know. I don't even know who the Dolphins owner is. Like, just think of some of these bad teams that owners probably don't even care about the football side of it at all. It's just the business. That's all they really seem to care about, maybe. So yeah, at least these organizations owners seem to somewhat care about football. So at least there's that.
Okay. I think we have four. This is going to be interesting. I want to bring this up because we have this article came out from ESPN. Came out today, 6 a.m. I don't think anything's changed since then.
Okay.
There are 4 offensive coordinator openings, and there are 4 defensive coordinator openings. There could be more. It's just what's open right now.
Yes.
And from what is open right now, we'll start with the defensive coordinator position. Top 4 defensive coordinator position. These are ranked 1 to 4, and let me know if you think there should be any changes.
Okay.
Or if you like this. Okay?
Yep.
Number 1 best defensive coordinator opening, the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
You have Edgar and Cooper, Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams, Micah Parsons, and now you have an outgoing DC who's going to become the Miami head coach. A team that is solidified is not a good word, but playoff contention every single year the last couple of years, and hopeful to make it farther.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, San Francisco 49ers. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. There's still big holes in there, but this has also been a place that has brought D'Amico Ryans, Robert Saleh, got them new jobs. So maybe this is the place to go for the next DC who wants to try to land a big job. Number 3 being the Los Angeles Chargers. Somebody that can back up this offense. You have a great coach in Jim Harbaugh, and they now have their defensive coordinator going as a head coach as well. So building camaraderie towards head coaching jobs. And last being number 4, the New York Giants. You have Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, but past that, they need, outside of the front 4, they need a lot more help. Do you like that? Do you think any of those could change around?
Yeah.
What do you?
I would flop San Francisco and Chargers. To me, that Chargers opening is a lot more attractive just based off the youth on that side of the ball. You look at San Francisco, and while they were very injured this year, like you said, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, those are guys that are kind of on their way out of the league at this point. So You got to replace that production probably within the next 3 to 4 years. And again, San Francisco has a pretty good track record with their drafts, but so does Los Angeles, at least defensively. So to me right now, at least, I think the Chargers is a lot more attractive, especially when you look at the other side of the And again, I know Kyle Shanahan is what's it called? He's a very good coach, but I think you look at the
Mhm.
Chargers and the roster all around. I think that has a better chance of going to the postseason next year or even competing for a Super Bowl. I would still say probably Packers is number one, obviously with the pieces all around there. And yeah, I was really thinking about probably putting the Giants above San Francisco as well. But like you said, I think that for whoever comes in, they really are going to have to rebuild the linebacker group as well as the entire secondary. And I think that's going to be a lot harder than basically retooling, which is what's going to have to happen in San Francisco.
All right.
Offensive coordinators.
Offensive coordinators. There's 4 openings right now. Number 1 opening that ESPN thinks. I wonder who wrote this article. Oh, Ben Selleck and Jeremy Fowler. All right. Number 1 opening is the Baltimore Ravens. You have Lamar Jackson. You have
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry. Land yourself a good wide receiver. The Ravens front office is good, they like to say. And this is a team that their defense started improving. So you can improve this offensive side. Then with a defensive-minded coach that you have in Jesse Minter, Zachary Orr is still there, but he might leave for the Chargers DC position. Funny enough, the little swap right there.
Mm-hmm.
This could be the ideal spot to make yourself to give yourself a name and to work with talent. Number 2, the Tennessee Titans. You get Cam Ward, so you have yourself a quarterback that is young and can improve. You have 77 million cap space. New head coach is Robert Saleh, who's a defensive-minded guy, so you know he's going to focus more on the defensive side. So you get a little bit more on the offensive side, and you can still retool this entire team with that 77 million. Number 3, the New York Giants. Scatabo, Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, Andrew Thomas as your blindside tackle. You have your star names there, and you can build around them. Just maybe get themselves 1 or 2 more pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, and final one, the Philadelphia Eagles. This one is saying taking this gig should do so without dropping deep roots. Expectations are high for any coordinator in Philadelphia, as they have Jalen Hurts. But if the split from wide receiver A.J. Brown continues to fester, scheming this offense could be much trickier. It's not a bad job, but it's a charged one. There's a reason why the other ones are higher than Philadelphia.
Well,
What do
yeah.
you think about that?
Well, I would obviously put the Giants needs to be number one.
Ooh.
That is like you said, Jackson Dart, Cam Skadbu, Malik Neighbors, and in retooling of the offensive line easily makes this young offense competitive. But let's take a step back from just the talent of these 4 teams, right? And who's the second one? The Titans.
The Tennessee Titans, yep.
Yeah, I'd probably put that one at 2. Just because of what you're gonna basically be allowed to work with, right? If you hire a guy for the New York Giants who comes in, he's probably going to get maybe 3 years at least for how young this team is. And again, as long as he doesn't blatantly shit the bed, but he'll probably get 3 years before he really gets put under a microscope and really analyzed. Probably the same with Tennessee, if honestly, maybe even a little longer, because all they really have right now for their young offense is really Cam Ward. You need to do everything else. So, but yeah, I mean, at least with Philadelphia, I'm not too sure about Baltimore. And let's go ahead. And AJ Brown will be there next year. I don't know if that's a factor into whether that the attractiveness or not. He will be. He's not getting traded. But I think it's the pressure for Philadelphia and probably even Baltimore. Because yeah, if a guy comes into Philadelphia and we have a season like we did last season, people are gonna be asking him to get fired within a year. So that's really to me, that's probably the biggest deterrence to why someone would want to go to Philadelphia right now. Also probably because of the rumored relationships with, or not relationships, but the rumored involvement, even though they've said whoever comes in the offense will have full control over the offense. Nick Sirianni will still be there. He will still have his fingerprints on it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Again, he was last season too, but that's just he's the head coach. That's just how it works. He's going to be there when game planning. He's going to be there when scheming. He might not be physically calling the plays, but his fingerprints will be on any offense that the Eagles trot out. So maybe there's some concern there, but I think it's mainly just the pressure is that. And again, I don't know what Baltimore's pressure is. I think maybe that's a 2-year kind of deal. I think maybe if they have one bad year, at least offensively, that guy might get some sort of leniency. It kind of also depends on how that AFC picture folds out, but at least with the Eagles, if you come in and you're not, again, producing to a level that can bring this team to win a Super Bowl, then the fans are going to want that person fired. And I could easily see why no one would want to come and do that. This is just too much. It's just too much pressure for someone that young, I feel like. It's kind of the same way we talked about last episode with the Bills head coaching position. Is you don't want some young, or if you're a young guy, do you really want to go there where you could possibly be fired in 2 years and then you have to start this whole journey looking for a coach or a coaching job over again? That means you got to go back to a passing game coordinator or DB's coordinator, some small like that, then work your way up back to a coordinator, and then hope that you get a head coaching job that's in a good situation that can let you keep it. So it's all about long term. It's a lot of people thinking for themselves or not, and that sounds selfish, but it's if you're a coach and you're like, again, I want to go. I might not want to go somewhere that has the best talent. I might want to go somewhere where I know that I'm not going to get fired in 3 years. So that's a big reason.
I think the best opening out of those four, honestly, I like the Giants to be the best opening, just because you have your wide receiver locked down, your cornerstone wide receiver. Cam Scatabo is your running back. Jackson Dart's your quarterback. You have your left tackle. Kind of just need to improve, maybe get yourself a little bit more reliable tight end, but mostly the offensive line. If you can build up that O line, protect your guy, then you'll be good.
Oh,
Um,
that's another thing I wanted to shout out. Sorry, you just reminded me. Um, and this is reportedly a big reason why Mike McDaniel did not come to Philadelphia is it doesn't matter what happens. Jeff Stoutland will have a big involvement on the Eagles' running game, and that will never change until he retires or he proves that he can't do it anymore. And I think that's another factor that some OCs did not like. They didn't want to have to deal with that as well. So, but you just reminded me. Never mind. You can carry on.
no, you're good. I think I actually would have put the Eagles to two. Because I still think you have yourself a winning team. You have yourself a great defense. That was a big part of that defensive coordinator reasoning was, well, you have yourself the openings on offense, then you get yourself defense, right? You have those defensive side. You just need to build the offense. The saga of AJ Brown will happen. We'll see what happens with him. You're confident that he will stay, but
I'm just saying
you've made your point.
well, I'm just
I
saying
know
if
you're.
he gets traded, the Super Bowl window is closed. So then there's no point in who we hire.
But I still
That's all
think
that matters.
this is the team that you have Saquon, you have AJ, you have Devonta Smith, right? This team still has talent around it. You have Jalen Hurts. You talk about your wide receiver, your running back, your quarterback. You have those kind of guys. Um, I think, honestly, I feel like there might be more pressure on the being the Ravens offensive coordinator, right? You talk about you talk about the Eagles when you get fired, all that kind of stuff. But let's just keep it in mind here that the Eagles, right? I know this hurts you to say, or
Hmm.
this hurts you to hear, but Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts in almost every situation, in my opinion. I think you're talking about a four-time MVP in Lamar Jackson, right?
4.
Oh wait, no, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. Why? My brain is
He's
fucked
won
today.
3.
Three, my bad. Three-time MVP. Could have been four, but
Could
Josh
have
Allen
been
won that
4.
one. My apologies.
Yeah.
Three-time MVP, and then you're talking about Derrick Henry behind him, right? Which Derrick Henry, people are going to expect the same production of Derrick Henry, but age is going to catch up to him. You don't have your wide receiver. The offensive line is always a question,
Hmm.
and they want you to come in there and compete for a Super Bowl. That is the thing with the Ravens because of what the names you have on there is. So I just think that's the most pressure. You're talking about a team that is way more disgruntled than the Eagles. You guys won a Super Bowl. So this team is way more disgruntled. So I think
You'd think.
this team ultimately is the biggest pressure point. So I put Tennessee Titans at 3.
That's fair. The one thing I could say again in defense of the Ravens would be if you take that offensive coordinator job, there's a lot of things that could happen throughout that season where fans or even the media or even the organization will point and be like, this is the reason why we didn't reach our goals of the Super Bowl, not the offense, or at least the offensive coordinator. So you will get at least another year. I think the difference is you look at Philadelphia, you have Vic Fangio, you have that defense, you know it will be good. Barring that it's healthy, you know that offensive line should be good. You have, barring doesn't get traded, you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, who can prove that they can be one of the best cores in the entire NFL and win a Super Bowl. So I think when you look at all those other factors, I think when you see a Ravens collapse, there's probably a lot of other things for fans or the organization to point to and kind of scapegoat that. Whereas with the Eagles, if they have a collapse, all the eyes are probably going to go to whoever's calling the offensive plays, and that most likely will be the scapegoat. And that's just
Maybe
assuming things go wrong.
Probability wise, because maybe that defense somehow sucks next year. You
That
never know.
that is true. That is true. But I think if you take a step back, at least from right now, what you see is what you got, and that's what you got to go off of.
All
But
right,
we
well,
will finish our coordinator
finish off
coaching talk with if the Eagles hire Matt Nagy, I will not be watching next year, and this will be a solo podcast until the 2027 season. I'm not joking. I will,
Do you like
something seriously bad will happen to me if I see a Matt Nagy hire notification.
the Chiefs hiring Eric Bieniemy?
I wanted Eric Bieniemy. I wanted the Eagles to hire him. I was furious when the Chiefs went out and got him. And also, if you do want to see a dark horse, I don't know if you see it, but Charlie Weiss Jr. has been getting a lot of interest. So if you want to see a college kid come up and play with the big boys this year, that might be it.
All right, well,
Finally, we can talk
let's
about the games. Almost an hour into the episode. Yay.
Yeah, fast.
So we'll start with the first one, Patriots Broncos. Brooks, how's this game gonna go for you?
There's one thing I wanted to check, and I did not check because I've actually been very, very busy this entire day. It has to do something
Okay.
with that winter storm. I wonder what the weather's going to be like in Denver on Sunday. Ooh, that is not warm, I'll tell you that. Okay, 18 degrees. I don't know what's going to feel like, but probably not 18 degrees. Um, yeah, so it's going to be a cold game. It's going to have to rely a little more on the run. But at the end of the day, let's just get real here. Let's just keep this real. Let's keep it 100. Broncos defense gave up a lot of points to that Bills offense, which Josh Allen, yes, but 4 turnovers, four from Josh Allen, 5 in total turnovers. You still give up 30 points. You still have to have your offense come and bail you out to a team that has 3 wide receivers and 1 running back, basically. And ultimately, you barely hung on and 1 at home. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase. It's been a long episode. Patriots are gonna win this game. Patriots are gonna go to
Cool.
the Super Bowl. Drake May is gonna lead them to the Super Bowl. You have a team that's pretty complete, offensive wise and defensive wise. Harold Landry's their big out with a knee injury on that defense.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think this team is ready to go.
Yeah.
There's going to be arguments made about a cakewalk to the Super Bowl.
Argument.
I will be one of them making that point.
It's not an argument, it's a fact.
Yeah. So I
Um,
think that's continue. Jared Stidham has not thrown a pass in almost 2 seasons. So
but that's not going to matter because I'm saying this so full-heartedly. He's better than CJ Stroud. But I want to highlight. You talked about the Bills game and the Broncos game last week. I want to talk about the Patriots and Texans game. And again, real quick to address the Broncos, I want to chalk all that up to just rust. Again, this is a team who starters haven't played in 2 weeks. They did not play their starters week 18 against the Chargers. So I'm not gonna take a look at the score from the Bills game and get super worried about it. I think their defense will look a lot better against the Patriots, especially. And again, all the scrutiny that I want to give Josh Allen, he is a much better athlete than Drake May. So I think, at least defensively, you're going to not be as worried about the quarterback. especially the running back. Yeah, I mean, this is a Patriots team that, I mean, barely defeated this Houston's Texans team. And I just want to look at the Broncos offense compared to the Texans offense. Obviously, they had no Nico Collins. This Broncos has a much better run game than the Texans do. This offensive line for the Broncos is much better than the Texans. So I want to see how they get RJ Harvey involved if he has a big game. And I really think Jared Stidham can win this game. I mean, you don't have to, as long as you're not having to ask him to sling the ball down the field or play hero ball at any point. I mean, to me, this is a perfect sort of Brock Purdy, Nick Foles sort of model. Just like get your guys on the outside, have some good routes for them, get your tight end over the middle, and your running back have a good check down. You just get the ball into your playmaker's hands, and you don't need your quarterback to do anything crazy. I think you're very good. I think if you look, they weren't really asking Bo Nix to play out of his mind or play any sort of hero ball to get to the point where they were. Obviously, Jared Stidham's not going to be able to make some of the plays that Bo Nix can, so you're going to lose some production. But I really don't think this is a huge hit in terms of losing Bo Nix for Jared Stidham. And obviously, Jared Stidham's going to have to play very well. He's going to have to be prepared. Like, he can't just come out and shit the bed. But I think if you look at this Patriots defense and what they gave up to the Houston Texans offense, like I said, I think this Broncos offense is a lot better than the Texans offense, so I think you'll see more points scored. And yeah, if this Broncos defense just play better, hold the Patriots to a lot less than what they scored last week, then I think Denver will be going to the Super Bowl. Also in Mile High, we talk about the weather. Let's talk about the altitude. Are those Patriots players to it? We'll find out. So. But I think at the end of the day, I think we talk a lot about experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about just playoff experience right now. I'm talking about experience. When you play the 7th easiest schedule in the Super Bowl era, that's not experience. That's luck. This Broncos team, you can talk about their fluke of a season all you want. They were beating playoff teams they were coming back in late game situations against playoff teams. That's playoff experience to me. I like this Broncos team a lot more than I like this young Patriots team.
So you're saying the Broncos will win this game?
Despite who the quarterback is, yes.
Look, there's a saying, you fake it till you make it, Baron. And guess what? I think this is just you're fake it till you make it. I mean, this is another game I think that is going to go the Patriots' way. So give me the New England Patriots.
All right. We'll see what happens.
And we flip over to the better conference. The NFC, my favorite conference. I always rock with the blue. Come on,
right.
baby.
Of course.
NFC.
Of course. A Western
Seahawks.
showdown. West Coast.
On the West Coast. Pow, 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 pow.
This shouldn't take too long,
West
should
Coast.
it? I mean, we all
West
saw what
Coast
happened last
showdown.
weekend.
What?
So the Seattle Seahawks will host this year's Lombardi Trophy, barring that Sam Darnold doesn't start seeing ghosts again. That's literally the only thing that can stop them at this point. They have the best defense. Jackson Smith-Njigba is the best receiver in football. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. Yeah, I mean they left no questions for me to have. They didn't give me any brain space to ask any questions about their team from what I saw last week. This Rams team, lots of questions going in. Seattle Seahawks, this is easily the best team left in the entire National Football League. In fact, I would throw $100 on them today to win it all. But yeah. I mean, this Rams defense looks suspicious. Offense at times doesn't look good at all. And I just don't have those questions or problems about the Seattle Seahawks. Now, whether how great they looked last weekend came down to them playing a practice squad, we'll never know, because that practice squad, again, won a playoff game on the road. So, yeah, I'm sorry. If this was a close game, then against Seattle and maybe or Seattle and the 49ers, then yeah, maybe I'd have a little more faith in the Rams. But that was a absolute shellacking for the ages. Enjoyed every second of it. The Seahawks team is the team to beat.
Baron, it is unfortunate that you're going to go 0-2 in the conference championship games.
I'm going 2-0, baby. We know about those dog of the day records, right? I know my
It is
underdogs when I
forcing
see
you to
them.
go 0-2 because the Los Angeles Rams with
No,
McVay and company. Oh,
no,
Matthew Stafford. Oh,
no,
it's a
no, no,
conference
no, no,
championship
no,
game.
no.
Baron, what is Matthew Stafford's record once he gets past the divisional? He's the GOAT. Once he gets into divisional, he's still actually really good.
What
One loss.
he's what
One
1-0
loss.
in the conference championship?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. He is 7-1 in the divisional or later. His only loss coming to
I don't know.
the Philadelphia Eagles. So
Congratulations.
I think, which
So
was
he's only
the
been
Super Bowl
he's only
champion.
been to one conference championship his entire
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
career.
whoa, whoa,
Shut
whoa,
up.
whoa,
No, this is the
whoa,
second
whoa,
one he's been
whoa.
to. He is who's a better conference championship or not better. But if he wins this game, then he'll
That
have a
is
better
hold
conference
up,
championship
hold up,
record. But
hold up, hold up, hold
if
up,
he loses, it's a completely different story. My
hold
point
up.
being, actually no, it's not. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you've been to one conference championship game. We're not going to start talking about how great a player is in a conference championship game when you've only been to one. He had one good game in the conference championship when he went to the Super Bowl. Congrats.
And how many have the Seahawks been to?
I don't know.
So
Ever? That's
I'm
not
gonna take
true.
me, of course not ever, but we're talking about Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Kenneth Walker, no Charbonnet. We'll see how much that hurts them, right? We're gonna see. We're
Then
gonna see.
this
We're
experience.
gonna
All
see.
right, at some point, this experience gets too ridiculous to talk about. All
We're
right.
gonna see a team. We're gonna see a team that is as tried and tested and have gone through the gauntlet of the playoffs this season. They win the close games. Give me the Los Angeles Rams. They're gonna walk into Seattle and they're gonna get the job done.
Um. So this was a Rams team who struggled and came back to win on the road against Carolina. This is a Rams team who struggled and came back to win on the road against the Bears.
Ooh, that's not the right word. Come back. It's not the right word.
They were losing, weren't they?
No, they scored the first touchdown of the game. Bears. Remember, Caleb Williams is the one that had to throw a 45-yard touchdown pass in the corner to Cole Kmet.
But I thought the Bears were winning going into the fourth quarter of that game.
Nope.
Okay. Sorry. Regardless, these are two teams, and I was very high on the Bears, but a lot of teams weren't, or a lot of people weren't. So we're going to go with that. These are two teams that just were not great. And they played very close games to both of these teams. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what you've seen. Don't give a fuck about experience right now because Matthew Stafford, he has a lot of playoff experience at this point. So does the Seattle team. We're not talking about round experience. We're talking about overall playoff experience.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Matthew Stafford's been to the conference championship once before any other player on these teams doesn't mean shit. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Yeah. So take the experience out of it. These teams are pretty even. Yeah. I mean, this is a Rams team that truly is going to have to completely flip a switch from what they've been doing so far this season to beat this Seattle team. From what I saw, I mean, this Seattle team beat the ever-living fuck out of the 49ers. Again, who's a team you thought was going to walk into Seattle and upset them on the road.
It did.
So, yeah. I'm sorry. There's nothing the Rams have shown me that makes me think that they will beat these Seattle Seahawks this weekend. Yeah, nothing in my mind.
They've shown me Puka Nakua. They've shown me
Doesn't
Devontae
matter.
Adams.
Doesn't matter.
They've shown me most valuable player of the 2025 season, Matthew Stafford.
That's great. Their defense is gonna let the Seahawks score 60 points. Like, what are we talking about? I'm gonna come out and say it. This Rams defense is not good. All right, they were good at somewhere throughout the season. At this point in time, they are not good. Seattle, top 3 defense in the league easily. Los Angeles, we're hoping it's a top 10 unit. It probably isn't that. You want to look offensively. Both units are very, very good. I'm probably not going to pick one. If I did, maybe it would be the Rams, but I could easily give you arguments for the Seahawks as well. So I'm just going to go with the best unit on the field, and that is easily the Seattle defense, who, again, has only let up 6 points so far this playoffs. This Rams defense has let up almost 70.
And I will go with Los Angeles Rams.
Go for it.
Who will be in the Super Bowl. And when we get to this next podcast, just when you go 0-2 and I go 2-0, just remember that. Just remember that. I'll be walking here with my head high, knowing that we have a Super Bowl matchup, which I don't want. But
If we
is
get
what's gonna happen.
if we get Rams and Patriots out of all of what we possibly could have had, I'm gonna be so upset.
I want the
I
Seahawks or Broncos to win
I
the Super
actually
Bowl.
probably will not watch the Super Bowl if that's the matchup because that's so bad, honestly. Like the Patriots
I
do not
want
deserve to be there, and honestly, neither do the Rams. If the Rams played
I
any
hope
other
the
team in
Seahawks
the playoffs, they would have lost.
I hope the Seahawks or the Broncos win it.
Yeah, I do too.
Um, I think everyone hopes next year that the Atlanta Falcons win it, just because they were 1-1 before.
I don't know about
So
that.
yeah,
The whole country.
yeah,
Oh,
except for New Orleans.
probably both states of South and North Carolina. Probably the state of Florida. At least the region of Tampa. Actually, no, the entire state of Florida, because one region's going to be cheering for their Buccaneers, the other region will be cheering for their Jaguars, and the other team will be cheering for the Dolphins owner to sell their franchise.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No, it
So
will
they'll
not.
be treating the Atlanta Falcons.
So,
So
yeah.
go Dirty Birds. Well, you've locked in your pick. Um, you locked in your pick. I've locked in my pick. I have myself a Patriots Rams Super Bowl. You have yourself a Broncos and Seahawks Super Bowl, a rematch of. I don't know if the Rams and Patriots.
Oh, yes,
did
they have.
2018 in
And
Atlanta.
the worst
worst
Super Bowl
Super Bowl.
known to man. Yep.
And the Seahawks. Well, there's an argument that the Seahawks Broncos game was technically worse than the Rams Patriots game because the Rams Patriots game was technically still close until in the fourth quarter. The Seahawks game was over in the middle of the second quarter.
It's okay. You know what was better than both of them?
The Eagles Super Bowl. The Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah,
the Eagles Super Bowl.
2018.
Wouldn't that technically count as 2017?
Shut up. Super Bowl 52. How about that?
There you go. You know what was worse than Super Bowl 52? Super Bowl 51. That'll be another episode, Nothing Agreed. Thank you all so much for listening. Who are your conference champion picks? Let us know down in the comments. And once again, Baron will be going 2-0 or 0-2. Shit. Other than that, he even said no.
Again,
Other than that, I'll see you later.
you have never beaten me in Dog of the Day yet.
Well, it's because I picked the
Oh,
big
let's pick
boys.
this. I picked the big
I
boys.
picked the big boys.
I picked the big
I come out
boys.
here swinging.
I come out here swinging. All right, whatever.
I come out here swinging. I come here doing my thing.
All right, kid.
You go, oh, well, I'm going to pick this team that's obviously going to win. And, I come in here and I bring the
I'm coming. I'm gonna go look for the receipt. This man took
That'll be the
This man took Ravens as a home underdog when they were playing some stupid team like the Dolphins, because Lamar Jackson might not have made it back in time. Guess what? He fucking did. You piece of shit. Fuck you.
I didn't.
You
One
did.
that I did hit though is I took the Chiefs as a home underdog versus the Lions, which
Yeah, fuck you.
looking back at the season now, actually a little bit of a risk. I won't lie, a little bit of a risk.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't at the time. Let's go ahead and put that out there. It was not a risk at the time.
Thank you so much for listening, and peace.